Nice.
So
Nice.
so it just goes to show you that the power of drawing up your own licenses, instead of using some fictitious dead entities, right?
Yep.
So it's pretty neat. But I was like, booyah! It's like, how did I know?
No, totally, man. And I needed to express something with you real quick before you got to go there. But the postmaster, the nature of us calling ourselves postmasters, it,
Yep.
that's like the root of where the Red Coat Army is gets the authority to even come here to do treaties. Like so.
That's right.
Exactly. So, man, I would love. I just got this picture in my mind of just coming up to the Governor General. Okay, he's standing there at his fucking picnic that he does every year here in Ottawa on a horse, and I just deliver him an envelope, and it's got nothing in there but free. I don't know what it's got to say on the piece of paper, but if I put a
horse shit for him,
that,
that's what you give him.
That's right.
Exactly. There's a big pile of doo-doo.
But if we could establish some sort of a trust with him, somewhat exactly the same way that they did the treaty on the Indigenous.
Well, here's the kicker, okay? People are trying to involve these people in interlocutory contracts.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what happens is, like myself, I just got sick of the system, and I said, you know what? I'm not a can I die in citizen, cited as then as being on the ship, right?
Can I die in?
So the minute that I said I'm not cited as then as being the citizen, right, on their ship,
from the
that thus becomes the contract with them that you better honor the common law.
Yeah.
Right? And so that in effect, by not dealing with them, becomes the trust rate there. You follow me?
Yeah. It's like saying heads or tails, and they call heads or tails. It doesn't matter, but now they're playing.
That's right, because even with me, even though I'm not a Canadian, they still have to allow me the right to board on one of their vessels, to fly, say, down east to Ontario, or if I want to do my private postmaster stuff, I send stuff off for 2 cents a pop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nice, 2 cents a pop. I know. Yeah, that's all you need.
That's right. So in a way, they become entrusted to me to honor that system, that I can still fly wherever I want across the globe and the whole 9 yards, right?
Yeah.
And same with the post office stuff, because what you were saying through the Ministry of Transportation, that is the next hugest government department next to the Universal Postal Union, because everything gets transported.
Yeah.
From site to site to site, right? Mail, food, supplies, munitions, the whole 9 yards. And that's why I simply stepped out and said, listen, I don't command a military command post, which is Canada Post. But Canada Post, as a military command post, still has to honor the common law right for me to send off mail for next to nothing as the private postmaster. And getting back to that private postmaster, when people go to court, if you ever watch the judge, the first thing he'll do is he always flips over the affidavit. And I put private postmaster stamps on the front of all my pages and on the back of my pages.
Of course.
And that's why when the judge flips it over, he sees that stamp, and it tells him immediately that I'm not in his port of authority because I'm not a Canadian. I'm not a citizen, right?
Yep.
And it works beautiful, man. The last time I was in court, it was just a buzz, man. Basically, gave the sheriff, Dwayne Weatherall, a $756 trillion bill for the judge in lawful currency to pay if he decided he wanted to contract with me. The sheriffs didn't even show up that day, and at the end of the court case, I looked at everybody and basically told the judge, what you're construing here is fraud, and I says, I got to run much peace, love, and respect out to everybody. There wasn't a sheriff in sight, never got a bill, and in fact, probably a week or two after that, Special Task Services forces there had called me up to say, oh, well, here's a file number, kind of in case you bump into us, kind of thing, because I'm not a citizen on their ship, right? So it's more for their protection than it is mine. But, I think a big thing, too, a lot of people have to do is you do a couple of things. People say, oh, well, you don't need things notarized to get out of their system. And what happens is when you get into the system, it starts with a statement of live birth. It gets certified. Then it goes to a birth certificate. It gets certified. And the only thing the dead entity / corporation can realize are certificates. And that's why notary public and your attorney general's office becomes your best friend, because then you're entitled to the full faith and credit of Canada or the United States.
They're just the brother corporation here that you have to get them. That's how you're notifying, kind of thing. That's almost like how you're notifying the process of what it is that you're doing once you get the notification, and they're certified by the Ontario or the the federal government, right? Like, because they're part of, is it the Post? Like,
well, see, the Attorney General basically is the private / common law dominion, right?
Yeah.
Let's say the Attorney General for Alberta. That's the private dominion, basically belonging to the county.
The principality.
That's right. Look at the words, prince.
Yo, I don't. Sorry to deviate here a little bit. I know we can go in a million different directions, but I went to Winnipeg this last summer. Okay. And I was there 3 years ago also. We're looking at the Golden Boy. We're looking at all the fucking idols and all this other different stuff. And it gets down to it that, there's a Manitoba Legislative Building, and that building is shaped just like Solomon's Temple, blah, blah, blah.
That's right.
And a bunch of other stuff. I could go on and on.